The Lion King is a warm and distinctive animated film set in the beautiful savannah and idealised from the landscapes of Kenya. It takes a somewhat more serious tone, yet brings about sing-along songs with great lyrics and visualised themes. The film has always stood out for me as being one of the best Disney films, simply because it feels sincere in its message and doesn't try to piss about with wasting time adding unnecessary, unfunny, childish humour. Yes, it does have some, and I can criticise some of the early film for it, but the meat of the film is serious, and even the lighter moments with Timon and Pumbaa precede the film along without unpleasant distraction. The main core of the story works well. Some could argue this is a masculine film, and they are right. Son and father, and the tragedy of hierarchy and greed. Simba is a bit of an idiotic child, but Mufasa does his best, and is ultimately punished for it, as well as his tolerance for Scar. Fair enough. The plot is believable. The plot and the storyline is helped along by exposition into character development and beautifully clear voice acting, particularly from James Earl Jones as Mufasa.
Turn your back on me, Scar.
I could listen to him all day. There are some minor negatives for the film, one of which is the inconsistent characterization for Scar, where one moment he appears tough, and the other moment incredibly submissive, and then when he starts singing along to music and then suddenly turning on everyone, it's just inconsistent. He's not really an enjoyable baddie, he's just more of a scumbag. The hyenas are more exciting than him, especially when you got Whoopi Goldberg talking. Also, I sense a touch of racism in this film, not so much between the concept of white versus blacks, but by the extreme projection or assumption that all hyenas are bad, and once the hyenas come to Pride Rock, suddenly everything goes to shit. I'm not buying it. Thankfully, they addressed this and sorted this out in the sequel. The humour is done properly in this film, especially in the late part with Timon and Pumbaa. I love the special multi-episode for VHS that featured the duo. It was funny, creative, and a bit weird. They help create the second arc to this film, and adds much needed moisture and vibrance to the contrast of the dry and dustiness in the first half. And let's be honest, it really does work. It's a simple plot, which allows for the storyline, character development, and artistic direction to really work. The colours and landscapes captivate, and the changes from night and day really bring in the contrast and atmosphere. It's lovely. When I was young, I had the Lion King soundtrack floating around my house. I put it in and wow, the soundtrack to this film is amazing. I moderately like the musical sing-alongs, but I find the orchestral pieces simply outstanding. They could have gone silly with this film and done something less epic, but Hans Zimmer did us proud and took the music in a memorable direction. It's great to listen to on its own, and This Land is probably one of the best instrumentals ever made for movie, and Can You Feel the Love Tonight makes me tearjerk. I've always had a thing for the Lion King. It's so gorgeous, the gorgeous nighttime skies, the sunsets, the magical enchanting tropical forests. It's probably my favourite non-3D CGI Disney film. I feel they approached this with a real vision and understanding of what they wanted, and because of that, they managed to execute the straightforward plot with flair and depth, easily deserving of an 8 out of 10.